it's week 11. This week we're going to be doing some reading and thinking about creative spaces and the ways in which space can facilitate, engage, enhance, or even stifle creativity. Your Creativity Quest 2 work smartly prefaced what we're going to be talking about in detail this week. In this brief video, I'm going to talk a bit about space and its influences on us, and then provide an overview of our week 11 readings, CAS, and sparks. Unfortunately, in college, you experience a lot of spaces that are not particularly well designed to foster creativity and innovation. A lot of our classrooms have desks locked in rows, putty-colored walls, horrible lighting, and an inherent focus on the professor, who, based on this room design, should always be at the front of the class, lecturing at students. Quite a few of our classrooms look almost no different than classrooms looked 100 years ago, in this case more than 100 years ago. Although admittedly most classrooms include some instructional technology like a computer the professor can present from, and in some chairs are plastic instead of wood. And thankfully you can't smoke in classrooms anymore. Our computer labs usually follow this design model: computers in rows, focus on the front of the room, little room to move around or collaborate. That said, MSU has a handful of amazing spaces designed to foster innovative, creative, and entrepreneurial work. We've explored some of these spaces already, including the Hatch and the Hive, and you all created an amazing map of more than 175 creativity hotspots around campus in East Lansing. Beyond MSU, one of the places that has been regaled as an incredibly creative workspace over the past few years is YouTube's headquarters in California. YouTube is owned by Google, and their larger holding company is Alphabet. I had a chance to visit YouTube's headquarters last year when I was in California doing a talk at Santa Clara University. My brother's wife, Cami, and this is her, is an instructional designer for YouTube's Creator Academy. They generally don't allow photos in YouTube, so most of the photos I'm sharing here come from official spaces on the web. But I can guarantee these are actual spaces, places, and things at YouTube. Here's a view of one of the YouTube buildings from the street out front, and the slide that runs from the 3rd floor down to the 2nd. This is one of YouTube's open meeting spaces. This is the pool inside the headquarters, and they also have laptop stations set up at treadmills on every floor to promote healthy working. One of their putting greens, and a nap pod, and a YouTube community kitchen, and there's at least one fully stocked mini kitchen like this on every floor. And there are also several restaurants available where employees can eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there are cafes on almost every floor with a barista at each. This was a celebration of Pi Day, March 14th, at YouTube's headquarters. So YouTube is an easy example because the headquarters were built for creativity and built to showcase creativity. YouTube drew on the book Make Space, which we're reading from this week, and they also worked with the folks at Stanford's D School for guidance. In your Creativity Quest 2 markers, you pointed out how food created at a location or the coffee produced, including the decorative foam on Blue Owl's lattes, are creatively inspiring. You also talked about how creativity is on display in and around East Lansing and Lansing, mentioning murals, graffiti, statues, and more. You described spaces where creativity can be engaged through the place, the space, and the tools available. And you also anchored nature to and with creative thought and processes and inspiration. I would encourage you all this week, as you engage the readings, the CAS, and the spark, and as you move around campus and beyond campus, as you go to different classes, as you work in different spaces, pay close attention to your surroundings, on the ceilings, on the walls, on the floors, on the tabletops, all around you. What aspects facilitate your creativity? What stifles your creativity? How does your body and how does your mind respond to the surroundings in which you're in? And think as you experience and explore what your ideal creative workspace might look like. Human beings react to the space that they're in. Space matters, and it matters pretty profoundly in terms of what happens in that place. For this week, we're going to start our readings about space and creativity with a chapter by Thomas Vogel, where he describes attempts to deconstruct traditional workspaces, especially to facilitate crosstalk and collaborative creativity. We're also going to read chunks from that book called Make Space, produced by the D School at Stanford. Early on in the book, the authors describe space as the body language of an organization. Make Space is a guidebook for thinking about creating spaces that facilitate creativity and innovation. The first 2/3 of our reading from the book is made up of design templates, guiding principles and considerations for thinking about space design. And then the last few pages we'll read are insights or best practices in space design. Our case for week 11 is a piece where the author, Lucinda Watrous, argues that good design is entrepreneurial and entrepreneurship requires good design. We have 3 sparks. The first is a piece that showcases 40 inspiring workplaces of the famously creative. And I've included some of those workspaces here in this video. The second spark is from the TV show Portlandia, and it's a sketch titled Good Walls, Bad Art. It's a satire piece about art, bad art, and walls. And the third creativity spark for this week is our Creativity Quest 2 map. I hope you'll allow some time this week to explore the map and check out a few markers posted by others. So for this week, once you're done with this overview video, check out our readings, the case, and the sparks for the week. Post a pack back, 1 question, and then respond to the questions of 2 other people in class. Your Creativity Quest 3 videos are due next week, Saturday, April 6th. If you haven't gotten started yet, please be sure to carve some time this week to read the assignment carefully, look through the materials, and start thinking about what your video might look and feel and sound like.